Dave, Brendan.
Thank you.
All right, so our report's going to be a shared report out of engagement and attendance. I'll start with attendance first. This is the overall ADA for the 1920 school year. If you look at the report there, we did a couple-year historical. We stayed on path and on target, so compared to last year, we landed right at the same number at 94.6. Up a little bit from 16, but we're staying steady with where we're at. Moving on to engagement, we saw a 69% engagement. I will clarify that most of our fourth quarter, either if it's students that are attending extracurriculars or if they're engaged in athletics, most of those rosters are in. So this report shouldn't reflect any related COVID issues. There are a couple areas like our NHS induction, which typically brings in 100 or so kids that we count towards engagement. That was left off because that hasn't been completed yet, and we're going to do a virtual induction here in the fall. But other than that, most of our math team didn't compete, although those rosters were in. Our math team didn't compete in the state tournament. We didn't get the results even of our regional of who's going to compete. So other than that, though, the numbers should reflect pretty good.
Sure, I'll touch on athletic student engagement for the 2019-2020 school year. We experienced an overall 2% increase in athletic engagement in terms of the number of students that participated in an athletic sport. 837 students participated in a fall or winter sport and or registered for a spring activity, or a spring sport, I should say. Spring of 2020 will certainly go down as an unsettling experience, to say the least. With that said, had the spring of 2020 season run, we would have experienced a 2% increase in spring athletic participants, with 496 participants versus 488 the year before, with the biggest increases set to take place in boys lacrosse, boys tennis, and boys track and field. As we move forward in the current year, I would like to think multi-sport participation numbers will increase given the IHSA's implementation of a fourth season. Now that there are 4 seasons instead of the traditional 3 seasons, this may allow for an uptick in 2 or 3 sport athletes and hopefully a few 4 sport athletes.
We're going to have a 13 sport athlete category there.
The athletic department is awaiting further directions and guidelines, which are said to be shared tomorrow regarding our current school year's athletics. However, as a few hours ago, the governor's office and the IDPH announced restrictions for winter sports. The biggest effect going on right now is the transition of risk level for basketball, both boys and girls. That risk level has been changed from a medium risk sport to a high risk sport, and also cheer and dance has moved from a high risk sport to a low risk sport. So we still need to await further guidance and clarification from the IHSA, but that's where things stand right now. I guess I'll turn it back over to Dave if you have anything else to add for activities.
Yeah, when we look at this report and we put these numbers together, the board has asked us in previous years to dive into the numbers a little bit further and looking at students that are participating in 1, 2, or 3 activities, and that includes extracurriculars and sports. And so if you look at the report here, our current seniors, our junior class from last year, did a really nice job. They raised their numbers in almost each category, 1, 2, and 3 activities. Our senior class had a significant drop off, and then 9 and 10 held pretty steady. So overall, we see 453 students in 1, 362 in 2, and then 325 total in 3 activities. And then if you look at the chart below, the 3-year historical percentage of students in extracurriculars, the total is 69.8 for this year, which is a little bit shy of our goal at 70%. If you look at where we are at 17-18, we've hovered around 69, 72, and 69 again for this year. Again, we haven't seen, the rosters were in, so we knew that there wasn't a significant dip, but we knew COVID was around in January when we started hearing and preparing for some of this. And so the participation and engagement and kids coming out affected those rosters, even though those rosters were in. So I will say that. Looking forward to this year, I'm really excited. Our participation numbers are really good, actually. Kids are participating online through virtual formats in almost every one of our extracurricular activities right now. Like I said, we have that NHS induction ahead of us. We have chess that's going to be competing virtually. Our gaming club is seeing crazy numbers right now. We have a lot of kids that are logging in through Zoom, and then they're playing on Twitch or whatever format they are. And so our sponsors are getting very creative. Our fall play, I was looking at the spring musical last year. Our fall play is set to stream live on November 13th and 14th. They're going to be sending a link out to our community to watch that, and that fall play production is Clue. And so that's ahead of us. Our Shenanigans group is our drama club improv group. They've been meeting, and they're ready to go. And our band actually completed a field performance. They didn't play, but they marched to music that was played on the field, and they're actually coming in on Friday to view that performance, and we're going to send that link out on social media of all their hard work. So a lot of good things and great things still go on, even though we're in a COVID world right now. And so I don't expect these numbers to dip in the least, and I really respect our sponsors and what they're doing and how creative they're getting with their areas.
I'd say it's, this is one of the things we were really pushing, is getting the kids to be, active and getting out in the community and doing things. So I appreciate the hard work everybody's put into that. I'm glad it's working.
Do we have an official esports designation or club? Yes?
It's an emerging sport in the IHSA, similar to what we saw with lacrosse. And so I've had those conversations with our gaming club sponsor. We've actually registered, since we already are a club, we registered through the not-for-profit organization right now. It's not associated with the IHSA yet, but we're looking at what games are they going to play, and then hopefully we'll get that platform up and our kids will be engaged in that type of activity second semester.
Yeah, there's some, I was listening to a podcast not too long ago, like there are a lot of big colleges that are giving scholarships for esports, right? Like definitely has been gaining popularity over the last 4 or 5 years, so it'd be great if we could.
Esports like
Gaming.
like Madden
gaming.
football or something?
No, like video.
No,
games.
like,
I get killed.
Go on ESPN and watch an e-sport tournament. It'll change your world.
yeah.
It's amazing.
I will send you I'll find the podcast link and you can listen to it because it's very interesting.
Maybe
What's
not for the
going
better.
on in the sport and the opportunities that are actually available for these kids
I'm kind of
that
amazed
participate.
my kids watch gaming.
You're right on. I mean, when I was previous to getting to in the teaching world, I worked at Robert Morris, and they were one of the first to offer scholarships for esports, and they still do. And I think and you can actually YouTube what that looks like, and it's much more than just gaming. It's
Right.
teamwork, collaboration, leadership.
Yeah,
I mean, all those qualities that we want
Yes.
in engagement is there. So.
Similarly to what I see when I have gone to robotics competitions,
Yep.
right? It's very, it's on the same plane.
Dave, you cover attendance?
Yeah, so attendance so far this year, we're at, year-to-date, we're at 96.5%, which is really good. We always see good numbers first semester, but this is actually a little bit better than we were at last year. So quarter one data, we're at 96.6, and then year-to-date, we're at 96.5. We've held steady rates of 96, 97 here or there. Last week was a little funky because we had a couple days, and so we had some families that took vacation or, said they took vacation or had some other things going on, so we had a dip in our attendance, which was down at 95.8. But the week prior to that was at 97.8. So we're seeing really good attendance numbers. Our teachers are doing a pretty good job of marking and being accurate with their attendance. And so we're excited to see where this goes. This is another area where we've had to really work with, I think, staff, students on their engagement in the classroom. And it's a testament to, I think, just the creative ways instruction is being delivered right now on different platforms, whether it's Zoom or Google Meets and now in person. Our teachers are really being stretched with their abilities in being a teacher.
Brendan, in the past, you've used some attendance incentives through the athletic department. Are those continuing right now, or have they been put on hold?
So we're still continuing the attendance initiative, which is basically a season-by-season competition. Obviously, our goals are aligned with the district goals, but we have what you might call a friendly competition amongst teams that are competing within a fall season, within a winter season, the spring and the summer season. So we'll share those results out periodically with the coaches and let them know where their teams stand.
Okay. Are there any other questions for the board? Brendan, Dave, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Go home and get some rest.